Hi folks, another quick video. It's almost 12:30. It's 5:20, Tuesday, 21 and change degrees outside. Look at this. Told you my batteries are going back and forth between charged and not. So anyway, it's green, so now they're charged. And I got all these little bees floating around annoying the hell out of me. This is 73 degrees. And who cares about the other one? So what am I up to? Now that I got the garage somewhat rearranged and somewhat organized, not completely because I never seem to get there, I decided to spend a few minutes on what I've purchased recently, the stuff that came home on Sunday. So, you guys remember this? I dubbed her Miss July, and I forgot Miss June, so I'm going to have to go back and get Miss June. I must have left her in Atlantic City or someplace, so we're going to have to send the car down to pick her up. So anyway, about Miss July, this is the engine that came with it. The rear end, my friend there screwed up the rear end pretty good trying to take it apart, as you see, because he just had to have this really trashy chain guard, so he screwed the rear end up. Also the bearings are a little loose. You see the movement there. So it really doesn't pay to do too much with it. And lastly, these two bolts came out, but the ones in the brake housing are just spinning, which means the side that locks on, the welds broke loose. So this rear end, I mean, though the axle's good, right, the splines are good and so forth, it's basically trash. So unfortunately it's no good. One could take this whole thing apart, and this is really tough to get this brake drum loose without destroying it, but let's assume that you do. I personally, I'd put a big puller on it and try to pull it off. I'd oil the hell out of it, then put a puller on it. I don't think there's anything retaining it there. And then you put bearings in it, and hopefully life gets better for you. Yeah, this side. Yeah, he didn't seem to be able to take apart either side, so anyway, this is more or less trash. So it needs a rear end. Here it is. Just for a laugh, I bolted the engine up, did a quick compression test on it. You guys can see there I get 150 psi, which makes Homie very happy. He stole this, so I went through the forge and I discovered I have one waiting to go in, which is always handy. So I'll smash that on there. I'll smash an adapter and a carburetor onto it, and we'll try to fire it up on my portable ignition system. I've also been requested a video on how to wire one of these things, and once I'm sure this motor is going to run, because I kind of hate putting all kinds of time and effort into a motor that's not going to run. Here's a set of handlebars with the switches and CDI and all that, and I'll answer the video and show you guys how to wire it. So there's all that. You guys could see I'm using the lift. To keep this side up, I just used a calibrated piece of scrap wood, right, and I lifted it up, put this underneath here, then lowered it down to put weight on it. So it's really, you know, fairly stable. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this in real life. When I'm done, I really don't want to put too much underneath it, because if I do decide to you know, put a bike on top, run it up for storage, and then slide something in underneath, right? I can't like have all this stuff in the way. So I'm not exactly sure. Probably what I'll do for this side, maybe I'll have the winch and then a secondary cable situation with a couple of preset hooks on it, so I can set the height on this side. On that side, I'm not positive if I'm going to stay portable and just have a couple of, you know, 2-3 calibrated height blocks floating around so that I can jam something underneath there, or if I'm going to have something swing down. Having it on the winch here is kind of a dangerous situation, because, well, I guess it's never going to fall this way, so as long as something's on it on that side, it really can't collapse all the way, even if the winch lets go, or even if one of the cables lets go, right? It'll stay up. If on that side, if the block kicks out or whatever, as long as the winch is up, I mean, it'll stay somewhat up, because the last thing I need is that doesn't look like it'd be a healthy experience. Harbor Freight makes these winches with an electronic remote control, so you can get far enough away where you can be sure how many toes you have, and when the thing's all the way down, you can still count your toes and be far enough away where it can't get you. So there's that. Musty One and a couple of you guys second the vote about putting a reduction in there, so to speak, to kind of loop the cable back up to the top and have it do a pulley. I have that right here, so it's just a matter of basically installing it, and that would be easy enough to do, right? I take the bolt out, take the pulley off, put the hook here just like this, right? Put the pulley in the thing, and, you know, take that hook and put it here, then take this hook and hook it back up over here. So when I winch it up, right, I'm using twice as much cable, which cuts the gear ratio down in half, right, which takes a bunch of this strain off, right? So that wouldn't be a bad idea. That was a good suggestion by the crew. It'll move the thing a lot slower, and it'll save some stress on the winch. Okay, folks, I've been babbling for about 9-10 minutes. I'm going to continue playing with this, and probably I'll shoot a video when I fire it up, because that's always a good sign. And I'll probably then mess with that guy, put the real ignition on it, make a video on how to wire it, and then I'll shoot one from that, and that should be about it. Folks, thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, thanks for subscribing. Remember to keep your head up and your feet down, and we'll catch up with you guys on the next episode of The Horde. Bye now.